Hi everybody, good evening. Yeah, we're still in hospital for the stepfather. Unfortunately, it's not good news, but we're going to be here for a while. So I thought I might as well, in the waiting room, thought I'd record some stuff and just let you update you how things are going. His stepfather. It's been a long day and it's been stressful, and I've had almost a sort of a flare-up, but I had come prepared with extra painkillers, I guess, and not to mention that the hubby brought more over, which is thankful, because it looks like we're going to be here all night. Yes, we're allowed to be here all night, but anyway, I'm not going to go into that at the moment. We don't know what's going on, and to be honest, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the E from the CREST, because I just want to also get my mind off everything. So once we know what's going on everywhere else, I'm sure I'll keep you guys posted. I'm trying very hard not to be stressed out, basically. So anyway, I had promised you guys that I will cover a bit about the E from the CREST. And it's quite a big topic, and one of the areas that I've shaded over quite a bit. So I will probably be doing that over several parts, and because it's quite a big topic and one that I've been asked about, in my case, quite a bit. The E from CREST stands for the esophageal dysmotility. Basically what that means that the esophagus, which is usually the muscle between the throat all the way to the stomach. Dysmotility is the opposite of mobility. So basically it's not functioning properly. So the muscle spasms, or in my case it just does a lot of the spasming. But there's also another area which doesn't function, but it also means that it's either completely wide and lets things completely the opposite way around. It doesn't sort of have its moments. At the moment as well, for me, earlier on, I've had the acid reflux from it, and the hiatus hernia. And that's one of the main reasons when I started figuring out I had problems with my stomach. That was back in 2000 approximately about 12-13, when the issue was quite serious enough for me to go and get that checked out. I started on omeprazole. It's very similar to stomach cramps. I was getting a lot of stomach cramps. I was vomiting. I was having the sensation of not being able to swallow food properly. And the acid reflux basically either spasms or loosens up, and basically the acid reflux was literally coming back out, and I was regurgitating, couldn't sleep on my back. I was getting a lot of chest pains, to the stage that I thought I was getting heart attacks. And it got to the stage when things would be vomiting and I'll be heaving a lot. The sensations were quite bad, and yes, I was vomiting, as I mentioned, vomiting quite a lot. There are so many other symptoms that come with it, but not everybody will feel the same symptoms. And I have posted on the Facebook the other areas that came up, but I got my stomach was starting to the intestine. I was getting a lot of, by the way, basically my bowel movements weren't working. I was either getting the complete ones or the complete constipation, and there was nothing in the middle, in between. Sadly, that's still the case, by the way, and a lot more worse. But at least I get the sensations of which one it's coming to be, and it makes a lot of sounds. But before it, I started getting to the stage where I was vomiting too much acid, and as some of you may remember from my early videos, that I had the hiatus hernia from vomiting up. Not only did I have the sensation of food getting stuck in the throat and down here in the chest and down this area, I was actually, it did get stuck. So it was equivalent to what was called or known as dysphagia. I was then told that I had something called GERD, which is the reflux dysmotility. So basically it's like all the acid, just didn't know how to sort of deal with it. So usually there's the blockage here, it didn't understand it. So basically when the food and you lie down, the acid comes in, certain foods sort of, certain foods were not really that helpful and triggered it off. So it would come back out, burn the throat, sounded like a horse, sounded like a guy, then got to the stage that people just did not understand a word I was saying. And yeah, weight loss. I was 105 kilos and I was the weight was losing down. And then when they did the tests for diagnosis, wow, that was noisy, somebody just closed the door, so I noticed I was kind of shouting. The diagnosis, basically, I had several things that they sent me for barium swallow, which is like basically to track the insides with a solution that I had to drink, and they do the x-rays. And just basically follow the food and see if it has, it's the similar things that what people with cancer, to diagnose their stomach cancers. They were looking for things like that as well, because they didn't know what they were looking for at that stage. I then ended up having an endoscopy where the camera goes down to check the lining of the stomach. At that stage they found out that my stomach, basically you have 5 layers of buffer, and those 5 layers were worn out from the acid, and it got to the stage that the water wasn't staying down whenever I drank water. So you can imagine I wasn't getting any nutrition. I was becoming anemic. I wasn't digesting any of the foods, nothing was being absorbed correctly, and I started vomiting blood because it was so worn out that it was eating it itself, as my autoimmune would do. So my stomach couldn't find anything else but to regurgitate but the blood. So yes, they moved on to different types of to check for the pH level in my stomach, which is called a mimotomy. But yeah, it basically checked the pH functions of the stomach, and it was quite high, dangerously high. So they had to do the operation and the fallopian, basically to reroute and remove the hernia. It wasn't a comfortable operation. I was in hospital for a week after it, and I was told the risks after it as well. That there's certain foods I can't eat. I don't have the main, intestine, it being rerouted to the small one. I still get a lot more cramps, but obviously at that stage it was just the food section. What progressed later on, they were saying that you can't take sugar, you'll get dumping syndrome. And dumping syndrome, I've had quite a few. It's kind of eased off over the years. And they did say if I'm careful it would, and it should in a lot of patients, reduce. But I just avoid taking sugar. You become dairy intolerant. You can't really have a lot of red meat, and there's the diet that you have to go on, so you'd have to eat high, sometimes fiber for me I found that it doesn't help that much, but I've got to be taking things like protein a lot for the muscles to regain. Soft food would be ideal, white fish. I was then told I had to sort of be forced to go and start clear liquids, clear fluids for a while, and then reintroduce fluid like somebody. I've just been sort of reminded by the hubby at the background, don't forget the greasy food. Yeah, the greasy food, I can't even stand the smell of it, but I'm supposed to keep away from it. And fatty food, any fizzy drinks. Again, that just will bloat. My stomach is, the small intestine, the last thing you want is it to be bloated up. It's really painful, by the way.
Especially rapeseed.
And anything like rapeseed, certain foods, So when I'm out, I've got to ask for the labels, and people just don't understand when we go out. Citric stuff, anything that's high in acid, tomatoes. It depends. There's certain times that my stomach can handle it, but as long as I do things that are organic as well, I find that I can't handle or hack things that are in tins now, because they put a lot of preservatives in there and citric acid and things that just trigger off the acid. Sorry?
It's not cheap either.
Yeah, it's not cheap. Yeah, I can say that it cost me an arm and a leg to have to switch, which is a shame because I'm originally, from Egypt. When you go over there, the organic stuff is the main thing, and it's cheaper. And I end up thinking, well, why can't we here, being a more modern, up-to-date sort of, Western country, why are the organic stuff so expensive? You get all the waxed stuff for things being imported, and it kind of winds me up when we're so health conscious, and yet we're using all these substitutes and preservatives, and it really, really does, you know. You go to a third world country, and not that I'm saying Egypt is, but there are parts where you would think it is, if you go out of the main city. But you end up thinking that they're eating a lot more healthier, and they're vegans, and there's certain things that they you look at them, it's like, why are you using that for? Why can't you do it? Literally, is most of this, you know, the other options are organic. And my stomach settles well. You get more goat's milk and buffalo milk and things that are low in lactose as a normal option. Here, you know, you get for a litre, you have to pay almost, you know, not less than £1.40, if not higher. And you get the normal milk for like 4 litres or whatever it is, or 2 pints. And you get it for less than £1, like 80p or 90p. And I'm like, come on, there's a lot of people out there. And over time, it does affect your stomach even more. And even for a fit person, you may not have the, you know, the lower ends of things, and yet it's doing our stomachs in. And some people have a stronger immune system and therefore may not notice it now, but it gets the better of us. And what I've noticed after my illness and stuff is that a lot more the younger generations and the generation after us, they're starting to get even sicker from the day that you're born, and have a lot of food intolerance and allergies and stuff. And you end up thinking, I wonder why. Well, yeah, the tins and all the ready meals and the preservatives, you know, does anybody know what goes in these things? And yet they put the prices up for the natural stuff. It's like, really? Anyway, rant over. And you can see it's a hot topic for me. But anyway, I think I better sort of try and wrap this up at the moment and go in. I need to see the sort of the stepfather, Tones or Kareem, whoever he goes by. I call him Fluffy sometimes, but yeah, we better go back in. So I do promise I may not be tomorrow. We don't know what's going on at the moment. We are going to be here doing an all-nighter, I have a feeling. It's a lot of stress, yes, we're all under a lot of stress, and therefore I think what we're going to be doing is playing it by ear, but once I can, I'll be posting up different things, but next time I talk about this and have time to be able to do a video, I will be able to talk to you about a lot of the normal Q&A questions people ask about the stomach, the esophageal motility, and a little bit more depth about the symptoms, etc., that other people feel. I may remember something that I've probably missed out here, but these are the main categories, areas that I still remember, so to speak, while I'm here under stress, brain blank, freeze, whatever. So anyway, I will talk to you guys later, and please, everybody, just remember us and all of us through this hard times. The last thing that I need is to be stressing out more, but we're all here for as a family, and family comes first to anyone. Anyway.